Chosen one, listen closely because what I'm about to say may shake something deep inside your spirit. There comes a moment in every destiny-marked life when the divine steps in, disrupts the silence, and whispers a truth so powerful it cuts through years of confusion. This is that moment for you. Something sacred has been shifting behind the scenes, and although you may not have had the words for it, you've felt it in your bones. It's the unmistakable pull that tells you you were never ordinary, you were never random, you were never meant to blend into the background of this world. You were always set apart, chosen, marked with a purpose that cannot be erased by time, trauma, or the attempts of others to diminish your light. And yet, if we are honest, the path you've walked has often felt like the opposite of being chosen. You've carried the weight of heartbreaks that broke deeper than anyone around you realized. You've endured betrayals from people you would have defended with your life. You've been misunderstood, misjudged, overlooked, and at times even targeted by people who sensed something different in you long before you understood it yourself. There were seasons where you questioned your own worth, wondering if perhaps you were the problem, if maybe you expected too much from others, or if you were simply too sensitive for this world. But here is the truth. You were never too sensitive. You were spiritually awake in a world where many are spiritually asleep. You were perceptive in a world that pretends not to see. You loved deeply in a world that fears vulnerability. You gave freely in spaces where others only knew how to take. And because of that, you felt the sting of disappointment more intensely. You felt the collapse of trust more violently. You felt the loneliness more sharply, but none of that pain was random. None of it was wasted. Every wound carved something into you: awareness, discernment, resilience, clarity. And now, after everything you've survived, you are arriving at the threshold of a divine shift. The heavens are stirring with movement. What was once silent is beginning to speak. What felt stagnant is beginning to accelerate. And you, chosen one, are being called to reclaim the power you had forgotten you carried. It's not the kind of power the world chases. It's not loud, not performative, not rooted in ego. Your power is ancient. It is spiritual. It is encoded into your soul. It is the ability to stand firm when others fall apart, to sense deception long before it reaches your doorstep, to love with a purity that disarms darkness, and to rise again and again after being pushed down by forces that underestimated your resilience. You've felt for some time now that something was off balance in your life. You may have noticed yourself withdrawing from people you once tolerated, feeling drained by conversations that used to feel normal, or sensing a strange heaviness around certain environments. This is because your spirit has outgrown the spaces that once contained you. The elevation happening within you is no longer compatible with the versions of yourself you had to become in order to survive. You are shedding the old patterns, the old wounds, the old expectations, and the old connections that served their purpose but no longer align with the direction your soul is moving toward. What you're experiencing is not a breakdown, it's a breaking open. You're not losing people, you're losing illusions. You're not becoming colder, you're becoming clearer. You're not becoming harder, you're becoming holier. And deep within this transformation lies a truth that many chosen ones learn the hard way. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves the intimacy of your spirit. Not everyone deserves the warmth of your loyalty. Not everyone deserves the sanctuary of your presence. You have spent years being available, being understanding, being forgiving, and being patient. Not because you were weak, but because you were operating from a pure place, a divine place, a heart-centered place. Yet some people interpreted your grace as naivety. They mistook your empathy for passiveness. They believed they could take advantage of your compassion without consequence. But God has been watching. The divine saw every moment you stayed silent to keep the peace. Every tear you cried behind closed doors. Every time you questioned your own intuition because someone manipulated your kindness. Every disappointment you swallowed just to avoid hurting someone else. Every betrayal you tolerated while trying to convince yourself that maybe you were overreacting. But you were not overreacting. You were spiritually perceptive. You were sensing the fractures in people's intentions long before they revealed themselves. You just didn't know that your sensitivity was a gift, not a flaw, a compass, not a burden, a sign of divine assignment, not emotional instability. And now the divine is stepping forward saying, enough. It is time to reclaim what is yours. It is time to restore your energy. It is time to draw boundaries not out of fear, but out of sacred self-respect. It is time to recognize that your spirit is valuable, your presence is powerful, and your soul is too rare to be mishandled by those who cannot understand its depth. This is the season where you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. This is the season where you stop apologizing for the clarity of your intuition. This is the season where you stop explaining your worth to people who refuse to see it. You are stepping into an era where boundaries become a form of worship, where protecting your peace becomes a spiritual act, where saying no becomes a declaration of identity, and where walking away becomes evidence of your alignment with something higher. And you may not realize it yet, but the pressure you've been under lately has not been an attack. It has been preparation. The isolation you felt was not abandonment. It was divine recalibration. The confusion you carried was not punishment. It was God removing the noise so you could finally hear your own soul speak. And what your soul has been trying to tell you is this: you were never meant to live powerless. You were never meant to be consumed by guilt, drained by others' chaos, or trapped in cycles of emotional exhaustion. You were born to walk in authority, quiet authority, sacred authority, divine authority. And as this realization rises inside you, something else begins to happen. Your energy shifts. Your posture changes. Your spirit strengthens. You start reclaiming pieces of yourself that you forgot existed. The parts of you that used to settle no longer settle. The parts of you that used to accept mistreatment no longer tolerate it. The parts of you that used to feel obligated now feel liberated. And this, chosen one, is the beginning of a profound awakening. Chosen one, as you settle into this awakening, you may notice something almost unsettling. The more you rise into your true identity, the more you begin to see the battlefield you've been standing on all along. Not a battlefield of flesh and blood, but of the unseen. Spiritual currents, emotional energies, unspoken intentions. You start to realize that the turbulence you survived was not a coincidence. It was warfare, and yet despite the intensity of what you endured, you are still here, stronger, wiser, sharper, and that alone is proof of the spiritual weight you carry. Because if we truly examined your past, we would see that the battles you fought were not small. They were not simple misunderstandings or ordinary challenges. They were layered, strategic, almost coordinated in how they attempted to break you down. Some of the darkness you encountered came through people you trusted. Some came through situations that were meant to uplift you but instead drained you. Some came in the form of sudden betrayals that hit you so deeply you questioned your reality. And then there were the silent attacks, the subtle undermining, the hidden jealousy, the quiet sabotage from individuals who smiled at you but secretly resented your light. But even when you didn't have the language to describe it, your spirit was fighting. You were navigating spiritual storms with no instruction manual, walking through emotional minefields without armor, and yet you kept moving. You kept rising, you kept hoping, you kept trusting that somehow, some way, there was a bigger purpose behind all of it. And that endurance, your refusal to let darkness consume your heart, is one of the clearest signs of your spiritual identity. Chosen ones are resilient in ways they themselves do not realize until they look back and see what they survived. Think about the nights where you were emotionally exhausted, but still gave encouragement to others. The moments you felt abandoned but still offered support. The seasons where you were barely holding yourself together, yet you became the anchor for people who had no idea how close you were to falling apart. That is not normal strength. That is divine reinforcement. That is God fortifying you even when you didn't feel fortified. That is spiritual armor forming around you even when you thought you were defenseless. And the truth is, your strength frightened your adversaries, not because you were loud or confrontational, but because you were unbreakable in ways they could not understand. People who intended to hurt you were confused when you healed. People who tried to dim your light were unsettled when you glowed even brighter. Those who tried to manipulate you were shocked when you saw through their intentions. Those who tried to isolate you did not expect you to discover a deeper connection with the divine in your solitude. You were supposed to crumble. You were supposed to lose yourself. You were supposed to question your worth so severely that you never recovered. But instead, the opposite happened. You awakened. And now the same individuals who once underestimated you are beginning to feel the shift. They sense that you have grown beyond their reach. They feel the spiritual boundary forming between you and them, a boundary they can no longer cross. They see the clarity in your eyes, the strength in your voice, the newfound certainty in your presence. They cannot articulate it, but they know something has changed. You carry a different energy, a different authority, a different posture. You look like someone who has walked through fire and come out refined. You speak like someone who knows they are backed by something greater. You move like someone who is no longer available for manipulation, confusion, or emotional games. And this is where fear begins to rise, not in you, but in them, because you are not the same person they once could control with guilt, exploit with flattery, or confuse with inconsistency. You are not the same person who would stay silent to maintain the peace. You are not the same person who tolerated disrespect under the guise of compassion. You have been forged by your experiences, shaped by divine intervention, and strengthened by every battle that was meant to destroy you. And now the adversaries, seen and unseen, recognize that their influence has been severed. Some of the people who opposed you never actually disliked you. They feared what you represented. Your authenticity exposed their facades. Your integrity highlighted their duplicity. Your generosity revealed their selfishness. Your spiritual sensitivity made their intentions transparent. You confronted them without ever saying a word. And instead of rising to meet that standard, they tried to pull you down to avoid being confronted by their own shortcomings. But now that you are rising into your true identity, they cannot hide. Your elevation is revealing them. Your peace is agitating them. Your spiritual growth is exposing the very shadows they hoped you would never see. And this is why you may feel that certain people are suddenly distant, uncomfortable, or strangely defensive around you. They are trembling, not literally, but spiritually, because they sense that the divine is positioning you where their influence can no longer reach you. And it's not just people. Situations and environments that once felt threatening now appear small. The fears that once kept you up at night no longer hold the same weight. The emotional triggers that once overwhelmed you now feel like old memories rather than active wounds. This is because God has been healing you in ways you didn't even realize. Quietly, gradually, intentionally. The spiritual battles sharpened your discernment. The emotional pain deepened your empathy. The isolation amplified your intuition. And the divine protection that surrounded you kept you from collapsing under the pressure. The heavens did not just observe your battles, they intervened. Every time you felt a sudden calm in the middle of chaos, that was divine reinforcement. Every time you escaped a situation that could have broken you, that was divine protection. Every time the truth about someone was revealed to you, that was divine clarity. You were not walking through the battlefield alone. You were being guided, guarded, and prepared for the season you are now entering. And the most powerful part of this transformation is what comes next. Because the moment a chosen one rises after surviving the depths, everything in the spiritual realm begins to shift. The same forces that once tried to silence you are now silenced themselves. The same people who once doubted you find themselves exposed. The same situations that once overwhelmed you now crumble at your feet. The adversaries, spiritual and human, begin to feel the weight of the very consequences they thought you would face. Because God has seen everything, every injustice, every lie, every manipulation, every hidden attack, and the divine does not ignore what was done to a chosen one. Justice is being prepared. Restoration is being arranged. The tables are turning slowly but unmistakably, and deep down your adversaries know it. They can sense that your rising is only the beginning of what God is about to establish in your life. Chosen one, as the dust settles from the battles you've endured, something remarkable begins to take shape, not just around you, but within the very fabric of your destiny. You may not see it clearly yet, but God is preparing to make a public demonstration of what He has been doing privately in your life. For so long, your growth was hidden. Your healing was silent. Your strength was developed in isolation. But the divine does not allow private suffering without public restoration. The same God who watched every tear, every betrayal, every false accusation, every moment you held yourself together when your world was falling apart, is now preparing to reveal justice in a way that cannot be ignored or dismissed. And this is not a quiet justice. This is not a subtle balancing of the scales. This is a divine unveiling, a reversal so clear that even those who once doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge what has happened. Because for years, people built narratives about you, some rooted in jealousy, some in misunderstanding, some in projection. They underestimated your discernment, mocked your sensitivity, dismissed your intuition, and spoke on your name as though God was not listening. But every distorted story they formed about you is about to collapse under the weight of truth. There is a divine law woven into the universe. What is hidden must eventually be revealed, and what is done in darkness will always be exposed by light. For a long time, it seemed like the darkness had the upper hand. Those who wronged you seemed to thrive. Those who betrayed you walked confidently, as though their actions carried no consequences. Those who misjudged you were quick to speak, but slow to understand. And to your heart, it felt unbearable at times. You held your tongue while others unleashed theirs. You stayed loyal while others were faithless. You gave grace while others offered deception. And through all of it, you wondered, when will truth speak for itself? When will the divine step in? That moment is approaching. God is about to place you in situations where the very things spoken against you are proven false without you having to defend yourself. The truth will rise on its own, and it will rise loudly. People will see your character for what it has always been. They will recognize the purity of your intentions, the strength of your heart, and the depth of your spirit. They will see that your silence was not weakness, it was wisdom. That your restraint was not fear, it was maturity. That your endurance was not passivity, it was divine alignment. And the reversal that is coming will not simply restore what was lost. It will elevate you beyond what you imagined, because God does not return things in equal measure. He returns them multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. The life you are stepping into will not resemble the life you walked through. You are rising from the ashes of your past, not as a survivor, but as a victor, someone whose spirit has been refined, whose character has been strengthened, and whose destiny has been upgraded through fire. This is why you may feel a strange mix of anticipation and peace lately. You feel something shifting, but you cannot quite articulate it. You sense that life is rearranging itself in your favor, but the details remain hidden. This is divine strategy. God reveals movement in your spirit before He reveals it in your circumstances. You are sensing the vibration of victory before you see the manifestation of it. Because the battle is already won. The warfare has already ended. The shift has already occurred in the spiritual realm, and the physical world is just catching up. But in the middle of this transformation, God is also doing something deeply personal within you. He is healing the parts of you that were wounded by betrayal. He is restoring the parts of you that were fractured by disappointment. He is strengthening the parts of you that were weakened by years of pouring into people who did not pour back. This is not just a season of justice, it is a season of internal restoration. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. You are learning to trust your intuition again. You are learning to value your energy again. You are learning to protect your heart without closing it. You are learning that boundaries are not walls. They are sacred doors that guard the entrance to your soul. And as these lessons anchor themselves inside you, they become part of your spiritual architecture. You are not returning to who you were before the pain. You are becoming someone new, someone wiser, someone stronger, someone who can walk into the next chapter without being weighed down by the last. So let this message settle into your spirit. Victory is not coming, it is here. You are not waiting for God to move. He is already moving. You are not hoping for justice, it is already unfolding. And the more you align with this truth, the more powerfully things begin to shift in your favor. Opportunities that were previously blocked will open. Relationships that drained you will naturally fade. Resources will appear at the exact moment you need them. Clarity will arrive in the areas that once felt foggy. And the peace that flows into your life will not be temporary, it will be foundational. But do not misunderstand. This victory is not about proving your adversaries wrong. It is about proving your spirit right. It is about recognizing that you were never abandoned, never forgotten, never unsupported. The divine was with you every step of the journey, even when you felt alone. And now the evidence of that support is becoming visible. This is why you must continue to move forward with intention. Continue to rise with purpose. Continue to hold your head high even when your past tries to whisper doubts. You have been called to something greater than the storms you survived. You have been chosen to carry wisdom that many never discover. You have been set apart not for struggle, but for significance. And as this message resonates in your spirit, I want you to hear this with clarity. You are not approaching the breakthrough, you are in it. You are not near the turning point, you are standing on it. The divine has already begun turning the pages of your story toward victory, elevation, restoration, and justice. And now the only thing required from you is agreement. Agreement with your own worth, agreement with your own power, agreement with the truth that your life is shifting in a direction that can no longer be stopped. So take a moment to affirm this silently within yourself. Declare it, claim it, step into it, because your victory is not a possibility, it is a promise. And the promise is unfolding even now. Chosen one, as we move deeper into what has been unfolding in your life, it becomes impossible to ignore a deeper truth that has been hidden underneath every hardship, every betrayal, every misunderstanding, and every spiritual battle. You were not attacked because you were weak. You were attacked because you were powerful. You were not targeted because there was something wrong with you. You were targeted because there was something profoundly right about you. The very essence of who you are carries a frequency that disrupts darkness, exposes deception, and awakens truth in places where people prefer to sleep. And whenever light enters a space of shadows, resistance rises. To understand the battles you faced, you must understand the paradoxical laws that govern spiritual identity. When a soul is chosen, anointed, or destined for elevation, the world responds in ways that often seem contradictory. The divine marks you for greatness, but the world marks you as a threat. God gives you a compassionate heart, but people try to exploit it. You carry a healing presence, but wounded people try to drain it. You were born with a spiritual sensitivity, but others label it as overthinking or emotional instability. These paradoxes follow chosen ones because your energy reveals what others don't want to confront within themselves. Some of the resentment directed at you had nothing to do with anything you said or did. It was the unspoken language of the soul. Your authenticity made others uncomfortable with their own illusions. Your strength reminded them of their stagnation. Your integrity highlighted their inconsistencies. Your elevation threatened their complacency. Your spiritual clarity exposed the fog they were trying to hide behind. They didn't oppose you because they saw your flaws. They opposed you because they saw their own flaws reflected back at them through your light. And here is something even deeper. Many of the people who hurt you genuinely believed they could get away with it. They assumed you were unaware, unprotected, or easily manipulated. They mistook your silence for ignorance, your compassion for weakness, and your patience for vulnerability. They underestimated the sharpness of your discernment and the depth of your connection to the divine. What they didn't understand is that a chosen one doesn't confront everything, not because you do not see it, but because God reveals things to you for awareness, not retaliation. This is why you often felt the need to distance yourself without fully understanding why. Your spirit detected what your mind hadn't processed yet. You sensed intentions long before they became actions. You felt energetic shifts before words were spoken. And while others praised your kindness, they did not realize your intuition was reading the truth behind their smiles. This spiritual perception is part of your calling, part of the mission your soul carried into this lifetime. But to embrace this mission, you needed training, not formal training, divine training. That is why the attacks you faced were not random. They were lessons in disguise. You learned endurance through betrayal. You learned discernment through deceit. You learned boundaries through exhaustion. You learned self-worth through being undervalued. You learned loyalty through witnessing disloyalty. The people sent to break you were unknowingly helping build you. Every hardship shaped you into someone who cannot be manipulated by flattery, intimidated by chaos, or controlled by guilt. The divine allowed certain experiences not to punish you, but to prepare you, because your soul's mission requires emotional intelligence, spiritual maturity, and psychological awareness, qualities that are only developed through real-life encounters with people who challenge your boundaries and test your resilience. When you look back through this lens, you begin to see your past differently. You see how certain betrayals accelerated your spiritual growth. You see how certain rejections redirected you toward alignment. You see how certain heartbreaks separated you from people who could not walk with you into your calling. The very moments you thought were breaking you were actually revealing you, revealing your strength, revealing your purpose, revealing the truth that your spirit is built for warfare and designed for triumph. And if we analyze the psychology behind the behaviors of those who harmed you, the picture becomes even clearer. Many were intimidated by you long before they admitted it to themselves. You carried a presence they could not decipher. Some felt inferior in your presence, not because you diminished them, but because your authenticity magnified what they were pretending to be. Some were drawn to your warmth, but once they realized they could not control you, their admiration turned into resentment. Some liked you because of what you could offer them, but once they realized they could not drain you endlessly, their loyalty faded. And some simply could not stand the fact that you saw through them. Being exposed, spiritually, emotionally, energetically, creates fear in people who are accustomed to hiding. This is why some individuals changed suddenly, why friendships ended abruptly, why certain people treated you harshly without reason. It wasn't personal, it was psychological. Your presence confronted them with truths they did not want to examine, and rather than evolve, they chose to distance themselves or lash out. The wound was never yours, it was theirs. You simply triggered it. But beneath all this, beneath the spiritual warfare, the psychological projection, the emotional turbulence, there was a deeper purpose. Your soul came here with a mission to bring clarity where there is confusion, healing where there is pain, light where there is darkness. You were not meant to live passively. You were meant to be a catalyst, a disruptor of generational cycles, a breaker of patterns, a carrier of truth. And people with missions like yours are never met with ease. They are met with resistance, not because they are on the wrong path, but because they are on the right one. This is why your spirit feels older than your age, why you have insight beyond your experiences, why you empathize deeply, yet cannot tolerate dishonesty, why you can feel the pain in others, but never fully abandon your own inner knowing. You were created with a spiritual architecture that is designed to withstand storms, reveal truth, and carry wisdom. Your entire life, the divine has been cultivating the qualities needed for your mission. Every season prepared you. Every challenge refined you. Every heartbreak awakened you. And now, as you rise into your next chapter, you are stepping into the fullness of your purpose, not with bitterness, not with fear, but with clarity, authority, and alignment. Because now you understand, the battles you faced were not a reflection of your weakness. They were a reflection of your importance. The intensity of the attacks revealed the magnitude of your calling. And the very fact that you survived them confirms that you are ready for what comes next. Chosen one, as you stand here on the other side of every trial, every wound, every spiritual battle that once threatened to break you, there is a quiet truth rising in your spirit, one that feels both familiar and newly awakened. You are beginning to recognize yourself again, not as the person shaped by pain, but as the soul shaped by purpose. Everything you have endured has brought you to this moment of clarity, where the identity you once questioned now feels undeniable. You are chosen, not in a symbolic way, not as a poetic idea, but as a spiritual reality woven into the core of who you are. And the more you embrace this truth, the more you begin to feel your power returning. The very energy that was drained by years of carrying others is now flowing back into you. The confidence that was once eroded by betrayal is rebuilding itself with a strength that cannot be shaken. The intuition that was clouded by doubt is now crystal clear, guiding you with precision and certainty. You are stepping into a season where your inner authority becomes your compass and your divine connection becomes your anchor. What lies ahead of you is not chaos, but alignment. Not confusion, but clarity. Not loss, but restoration. Your spirit has shifted, and the world around you will begin to reflect that shift. Opportunities will open without force. People who resonate with your truth will naturally gravitate toward you. The relationships you attract will be healthier, more reciprocal, and more aligned with your soul. The burdens you once carried will no longer weigh you down, and the peace you feel will not be temporary. It will be the foundation you build upon. Because when a chosen one reclaims their power, life begins to reshape itself in response. The divine honors your bravery. Heaven responds to your healing. Every step you take toward your true identity triggers ripples of transformation that extend far beyond what you can see. You are not simply entering a new chapter, you are entering a new dimension of living, one where your boundaries protect you, your intuition guides you, and your spirit leads you toward what is destined. And with this new clarity comes a gentle reassurance. You do not need to fear the future. You do not need to brace yourself for another attack. You do not need to carry the anxiety that once overshadowed your joy. What is coming toward you now is peace, stability, divine connections, purpose-driven opportunities, healing that lasts, a deep sense of belonging within yourself. You are not stepping into uncertainty, you are stepping into alignment. But as you move forward, there is one thing you must carry with you, the understanding that your power is sacred. Your boundaries are not barriers, they are expressions of self-respect. Your intuition is not an inconvenience, it is your divine protection system. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it is your spiritual GPS. You are no longer required to shrink yourself, silence your spirit, or dim your light to make others comfortable. Your mission requires you to shine fully, authentically, unapologetically. So let this be your spiritual call to action. Walk in your identity without hesitation. Speak your truth without apology. Protect your energy without guilt. Honor your intuition without second-guessing. Step boldly into the spaces where you are led. Release what no longer aligns. Accept what is divinely assigned. Trust the unfolding of your path, even when you cannot see the entire map. You are not walking alone. Every step is guided, every moment is aligned, every shift is intentional. Remember who you are, remember what you survived. Remember the strength you discovered when you thought you had none left. You are not defined by your hardships. You are defined by your resilience. You are not remembered for your struggles. You are remembered for your rising. You are not chosen because you are perfect. You are chosen because your spirit carries a purpose that cannot be erased. And as this message lands in your heart, let it echo softly but powerfully. Your story is not ending. It is beginning. Your spirit is not weary. It is awakening. Your path is not broken. It is unfolding. Everything you have walked through has positioned you for everything you are about to walk into. Stand tall. Breathe deep, step forward. Your life is shifting in divine order. And as you enter this next season, know that the divine is with you, guiding you, protecting you, and elevating you. You are ready. You are aligned. You are chosen. I am here when you need the next message.